Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, an unlikely animal is making waves in the search and rescue world. We're learning about an otter who's joined the ranks of these impressive cadaver dogs, working water calls for a nonprofit in Southwest Florida. Plus, we meet some of the newest members of the family at Big Cat Habitat in Sarasota, a pride of playful apex predators, plus an up-close encounter with an Arctic wolf pup. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. For more than 2 decades, Peace River Canine Search and Rescue has assisted families in locating missing loved ones. It's an all-volunteer nonprofit ready to respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have a number of teams, including a mounted equine group, which we've featured before on Animal Outtakes. And they've also got a specialized unit for the recovery of a lost person in the water. And to do this, they got quite the roster. A highly trained canine in both cadaver and live find, a diver, a boat captain, a sonar operator, and an otter. He goes by the name Splash. He's a small-clawed Asian otter who can follow a scent trail in the water right down to its source. Join us as we ride along on a training session with the dogs and learn more about their otterly cute counterpart. It's safe to say there's very little downtime for the volunteers at Peace River Search and Rescue. Founder Mike Hadsell says if they're not out deployed on a case, they're actively training.
This is our target odor that we're using today, and we're going to put this out as our scent source. It's pretty much the same. The dogs that come out here have already certified on land before they come out to do water work, so they should be pretty solid on their indications by the time they come out here.
Today they're working with canines who are cadaver dogs, also known as human remains detection dogs. A very tough job, but one that's necessary for those in their most desperate times.
So she's going to be up on the deck and she's going to be working, looking for odor. And we're on the downwind side, so she's not getting any right now. And we're going to turn around and go back at it. And then you'll see her reaction when she gets into odor. She's going to down, hopefully, or she'll bark, one or the other. This is looking for human remains on the bottom of the water. So when the body's on the bottom, it generates odor which surfaces, and the dogs detect the odor as it breaks the surface and tells us where it's coming up. That doesn't necessarily mean the body's close, it just means that's where the odor's coming up. Dama, get up there. Up. Look for Hoffa. We work mostly Southwest Florida is our home. Charlotte County is where we work the most, and then we work the whole state of Florida, actually, because we get called all over the place, and we actually work anywhere in the world. We've been to Alaska, we've been to Europe, we've been to the Caribbean, we've been to Central America, we've been to several places working. Usually our first responders, usually law enforcement calls, they have a missing person, usually a special needs wander or something like that, and they'll call and ask for assistance and tell us what kind of resources they need, and then we'll send people out to take care of that. The odor surfaces and it's picking up the odor plume on the top of the water. Find Hoffa, get to work. And you can see she's getting excited because she's getting an odor. So we know that she's there. I'm going to take her closer to it. Peace River's been around for 20 years, and I've been doing this kind of work for almost 45 years. The hurricanes keep us busy, and this year especially we had 2 back-to-back hurricanes, and it kept us out, and then we had a lot of damage in Florida and a lot of damage in North Carolina, so we had teams spread out all over the place working. When you're in salt water, salt disperses the odor and makes it bigger. So we could have a scent pool. If the body's been down for a while, we could have a scent pool that's 20 to 50 to 100 yards wide. And it makes it really hard to locate the body when we have scent pools that big. So that's one of the reasons we use the sonar and try to figure out where it's at. Right now we're about 25, 26 volunteers, and usually we run about 60, but we're in a rebuilding session this year.
There she goes.
So we're putting the team back together after we had COVID and hurricanes and everything else. So it's been interesting for the last couple of years. We are totally funded by the community. We have to fundraise every year, go out and ask for donations and try to get assistance that way to keep the wheels turning. Our volunteers pick up a lot of the expenses themselves, and then the big expenses, some of the travel, some of the other stuff, we usually either have to fundraise for it, or the requesting agency supplies that, or sometimes the families that need us will help fund those efforts. I'm not a big person on stats. I don't believe in stats, statistics, because in our business we don't always know what we found. Many times when the cadaver dogs work, we have fines, but we don't know about them because law enforcement doesn't tell us. So next thing you know, 3 years down the road, you're getting a subpoena and you have to go to court to testify about this thing your dog found. And we're like, oh, I guess my dog did find something, but I didn't know about it at the time. So it's hard for us to keep statistics on the dogs. So since 2016, we've had close to 400 deployments. And Dama, who's working today, she's done pretty close to 300 of them. So she's been out there a lot. She's getting ready to retire. She's starting to show a lot of age, and so we're getting ready to let her stay home on the couch. Originally, when I did this, we were just supplying tracking dogs, and people would call and we do our tracks, and then we'd either find the person, not find the person, or we found the person deceased. A lot of those cases don't end that way. The person gets away and they don't find them, and so the search has to continue on. And I would start getting calls, even after law enforcement had dismissed us, I would get calls from the family asking if they could come out, because they don't know how to search, they don't know what to do. Would we come out and help them? And so we started helping the families as well as helping law enforcement when we do these cases, so that way the family can keep looking for their missing loved ones. So that's kind of how I got into it. I just couldn't say no. They kept asking for help, and I kept feeling really bad that they were hurting so bad, so I would go out and try to help them if I could.
Beamer is a HRD dog, human remains dog, and a tracking dog. He just turned 13 years old. He's Chihuahua Toy Fox Terrier and absolutely loves his job. He likes to be on the boat. He likes to be on the side-by-side. He goes in the woods. He goes just about anywhere we need him to go. He has his place. We're not going to put him somewhere where the big dogs should be going, but he certainly gets enough work. He has told us where the person wasn't, and he has also told us where the person was.
Beamer is 13, and even despite his amazing track record, his size often precedes his reputation in the rescue community. Lucky for him, it doesn't take long for the professionals to see his worth.
But he has quite a following now. He's known everywhere from Las Vegas to anywhere in Florida and Georgia. He's met FBI, he's met FDLE, different police organizations, and typically they say, oh, there's Beamer. And then they approach me and say, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. And it's like, that's okay, I'm Beamer's mom. That's all you need to know. We are available 24/7, 7 days a week. Our vehicles are packed. All we have to do is get our clothes on and our dog and go.
Oftentimes, divers are faced with conditions that make it impossible to see in front of their face. And that's where the otter comes in this story. Back at home, Splash the otter works in the swimming pool. And they've taught him to locate a ball with the target odor and then alert the diver that he's found the target odor. Mike says that since they use the otter in low and no visibility waters, the otter will come up and start biting at the mask to alert the diver. In a normal deployment, the otter will have a harness and a line in so that the diver can follow back to the target odor. Mike says you have to have a Class 3 license to own an otter in Florida. And as you can see, just like the canines who make up this impressive organization, Splash has also become part of the family.
There's really no such thing as closure in this business. There's a I guess if you want to say it closed, we closed out one chapter and now we're moving into the next chapter. So once we find the remains and we return the loved one home, now they can close out that part. They're not worrying about where they are or what's going on with them. Now we move over to the healing part, and that's when they have to start healing up and getting their lives put back together. But you know, these people who have missing loved ones, they live in a perpetual hell. For every day they get up and they wonder, is this the day I'm going to find out where my child is? I wonder where they are they okay? What's going on? And that never ends for them. So we try to help in any way that we can.
For more about Splash, Beamer, and all the others who make up the Peace River Search and Rescue, log on to prsar.org. And coming up next on Animal Outtakes, meet a group of lion cubs on their way to becoming part of the species survival plan. We visit them at Big Cat Habitat in Sarasota and learn more about how you can help make a difference.
Looking to get away for a few days, but nervous to leave your furry friend? Leave your worries behind. At Dante's Den, we offer safe and secure boarding options for your dog or cat. We know your pet is part of the family, so we provide a comfortable environment with experienced caregivers who offer personalized attention. We have a fully equipped medical facility, spacious accommodations, daily activities like swimming and agility, and staff is on site 24/7. Log on to dantesden.org for reservations.
This is Xena, and this is Zeus. And they're two of our newest members here at the family, and they're lion cubs. And we're really excited to have them. And they're really friendly, as you can tell. And she has aspirations to be a hairdresser someday. But anyway, stop. Well, this is Big Cat Habitat in Sarasota, Florida, and these are our playful little lion cubs that we've just recently acquired. So we have a little girl, a little boy, Xena and Zeus. Then we have Maximus and Aurora. Xena and Zeus are normal lions like everybody sees at other facilities. These are white lions, very rare and absolutely beautiful. So we're really excited to have them. Well, these guys in the future will be part of our conservation because lions, well, almost all animals are disappearing in the wild due to loss of habitat, poaching, and overpopulation by man. So we really have to work together in the zoological community to make sure we don't lose species. So in the future here at the Big Cat Habitat, we plan on being part of the SSP, the Species Survival Plan. And that's where everybody works together to keep track of good bloodlines and good quality animals like these guys. They're babies, first off, and I've been working with big cats my entire life. But these guys are also raised by, you know, our crew and interacted with our guys, and they really have a good bond. She's undoing my shoelaces right now while I'm talking to you. Each of my shoelaces have now been separated and undone, and stop. But look, that's one side, that's the other. Anyway, but they're really, really wonderful little cats, and we're excited in the future that they'll be part of hopefully a breeding program where we can work with other zoos to keep track of the good, clean bloodlines. I just love animals. I think they're so important and they're so incredible, and I just think everybody needs to pay attention a little bit more, and animals are so important to human life. Without them, we're nothing. And they're great. Look at them. These guys are about 11 and a half months old, and you know, but they're a really fast-growing land animal. They can gain 1 pound a day when they start to grow. So, but and you can see beautiful, healthy little kids. We work with them, but lions are a pride animal. They live in a large, comfortable family group. That's what they're kind of used to. So we try to keep that atmosphere here. Just like with the wolves in the pack, we're part of the pride. You know, the Big Cat Habitat, we really believe in the human-animal bond, so we try to give people a lot of opportunity to interact with the animals that they're allowed to interact with. So we do obviously offer feeding opportunities for the big cats. You can't interact with them, but you can give them a treat and make them feel good, and you can do that with the bears. But then some of the smaller, cuddlier animals like the lemurs and the wallabies and stuff like that, you can have these amazing up-close encounters that really I don't know, they're just a wonderful experience. I think the problem nowadays is everybody, you know, everyone's hope is to see them thrive in the wild, and that's where everybody feels like they belong. But, you know, the problem is there's not much wild left. So without human hands being a part of it and having great groups like Florida Fish and Wildlife, USDA, other countries, they don't have that. So no one really regulates them like they should, you know? And that's what's so important, because when we lose species, it causes major effects. And predators are one of the most important in every aspect. I've spent, you know, my whole career working with big cats, and that's what I specialize in. And that bond, you know, people forget, but these animals are not wild. They did not come from the wild. They were not born in the wild. And the first thing that they ever experienced after their own mother was a human hand. You know, I've actually been lucky enough to sleep in the den with a female that was giving birth. So I know how important we really are to them. Well, with these guys, you got the pride thing, right? They play and tease and work with each other all day. Then you got your toys, which right now are hidden in there, but we have these indestructible zoo balls and all this other great stuff that the zoological community has designed over the years that are good to play with these animals. And then of course, you know, you got the trees for scratching, the pools for swimming, you know, that all helps to kind of get them going. They play games like King of the Mountain on the waterfall. They come up with their stuff and we just add to it. Yeah, they're apex predators, so they're, you know, people don't realize how smart they are, but they're amazing, amazing animals.
As always, to learn more about any of the animals at the Big Cat Habitat Conservation and Education Center, log on to bigcathabitat.org. And coming up next on Animal Outtakes, there's no huffing and no puffing and no little Red Riding Hood. But there is a wolf, and he's big, but he's not bad, and he may just melt your heart. The Arctic wolf is known as a protector of nature. Also called the polar wolf, this animal lives along the northern edge of the North American continent, all the way up into the North Pole. But a pack has made their way to the Big Cat Habitat in Sarasota, where humans have spent a lot of time integrating themselves with these apex predators, creating an environment safe for up-close encounters.
So this guy, this is Bolt. Bolt is only about 10 and a half months old or so. This is one of our Arctic wolf pups. And he's a really cool dude because he's one of our ambassador animals. Imagine that, a wolf that's an ambassador animal. So he's only eaten a couple children and a farm. No, I'm just kidding. He's an incredible dude for the team because he gets to get up close and personal with the public. He's a really great little guy. And, you know, it gets people a chance to do one of those things that they've... Station? No, not me. Come here. Station? Station? Good. Having this guy as an ambassador animal gives the public one of those incredible chances to fulfill a dream. You know, everybody loves wolves, and who hasn't dreamed to get to meet one day and get to interact with one? So this is a really neat thing for the public to get to do. So what you have to do is you got to spend a lot of time, and you have to make yourself part of the pack. So we did a lot of research when we got our wolves here at the Big Cat Habitat to find out how to properly raise them and give them a good quality of life with their parents in the beginning, but then also with us. And that's what we ended up doing, is we found out that if you make everybody here, the whole crew, part of the wolf pack, then that's how they feel very safe and confident, because they know they've always got a member of the family with them. Isn't that right? I mean, the wolf is the original dog. I mean, and every dog has wolf DNA, but it's just, you know, these are a little more closer to their, you know, the wild, and their instincts are a little bit different, a little more intact than you might say a dog. So you just got to respect them. That's the big thing with animals. Everybody has to remember that it's all about respect. Because without wolves, all of our national parks and everywhere would be different. So these animals are very important. They're very amazing, and it's a wonderful thing to get to spend some time with them. When people get the chance to get up close and personal with an animal, it's a whole different thing. I mean, it's one thing to get to look at them, you know, in an enclosure, running and playing or swimming in a pool, having a good time. But when you get to get in and actually interact with that, oh, there's a little piece right there, and actually interact with that animal, it changes things. You know, people fall in love, and it really makes a difference. He likes everything. Believe it or not, cheese and sandwich meat is one of his favorite little snacks, but this guy, he loves it all. He's a puppy, so he loves everything, especially anything you're eating. The amazing thing about animals is they take the use of no language and turn it into an incredible thing, because without saying a word, animals can teach you love, respect, responsibility, and they're really cool. This guy is one of those ones that he's so young and so silly that this is where you learn patience, because you got to be very patient with this guy. He's very excited about everything, and the calmer you are and the more patient you are, then the better he does, you know. So he's been kind of that teaching guy for me on that. It's just learning a little patience. Well, look at that, isn't he beautiful? Positive reinforcement. It's all about treats and spending time with your animals. You know, if you love your animals, teach them things. You know, the only car ride for a dog to go to the vet to get neutered is not a happy thing. Take them to the park, take them to the beach, give them a chance to experience life, just like you would your kids, and you're gonna have a healthier, happier animal. It's kind of funny, but you can take the biggest and scariest predators in the world, and people want to hug and kiss them. I call it the fur factor. A wolf, a lion, a tiger, you know, because it's something about them. Something about them. Yeah, no, don't need that microphone. In captivity, of course, you know, they tend to live a little longer. They, you know, of course, we keep track of their health, vitamins, minerals, supplements. They get a special diet. So in captivity, many animals live longer than they do in the wild. In the wild, it's a very difficult life. So the average lifespan for these guys is like, I believe, 10 to 16, you know, maybe a little less. Bo, sit, sit. No, focus, it's over here. Sit, sit, down, crawl, crawl. Oh, you got lazy there, you got lazy there. You got lazy there.
We'll be right back.
Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org.
We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. And we'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some engaging encounters. Until then, thanks for watching.
Is there anything she didn't ask you? Really? Is that what you have to say? Okay.
First thing though, they always do that, and then the whole rest of the interview look like a peacock or something, you know? Kind of the same hours, because that's what we always do around the holidays. And so it should be normal business hours as goes, but then the crowds get wonderful, you know, so we always recommend people to come on out and enjoy it. It's a great time.